welcome friends to today's session in Unit 3. Up till now, in the advertising process, we have discussed the first three steps and we were in the middle of discussion on media decision. Now that we have completed our discussion on the media type, I hope you remember the discussion that we have had in the last few sessions. Now we are going to move over to media vehicle. So let us first understand what we mean by media vehicle, right? See, what do we mean by media vehicle? For example, supposing you have decided that you are going to go for the print media. So the media type that you have opted for is print media. Within that, let's say you have decided to go for newspapers. So media type is print media, more specifically newspapers. Now, what is media vehicle? Which particular newspaper or which particular magazine you want your ad to be shown in? That is an example of media vehicle. So within the print media, that is media type, we have got different media vehicles. We have got Amar Ujala, a Hindi newspaper, Hindi language newspaper. Then we have got the Hindu, an English language newspaper. We have got Business Standards. So we have got magazines like India Today or Chronicle or Newsweek. So we have got different magazines. So these are all examples of media vehicle. Now let me take another example of internet as a media type. So you know that we have discussed about internet as a media type. Now what will be media vehicle? Media vehicle within internet, which particular website are you going to show your ad on? Or which search engines have you contacted for your ads to be displayed on? This is an example of media vehicle. Let's take an example of the broadcast media. Let's talk about the radio. So the media type is radio or the broadcast media, and the media vehicle is the specific FM channel or Vivid Bharati or All India Radio on which your ad is getting telecasted. Likewise, supposing you are using television as your media type. So are you advertising on Sahara channel? Are you advertising on Doordarshan? Or are you advertising on G Sports? That is what media vehicles are. Is that making sense? So this is the difference between media type and media vehicles. So first decision is regarding the media type, and within the media type then you have to opt for which particular media vehicle you are going to go for. And how do you decide? That is what we are going to discuss today. What are going to be the decision considerations as far as media vehicles are concerned? So number one, naturally you want circulation. Circulation means it reaches more number of people. So that is the first concern. So naturally if you have decided that you will go for print media as media type, then the media vehicle you would decide based on whether the newspaper that you have opted for has a wide circulation or it is only getting circulated among a few people. So circulation is the first decision consideration. Naturally, for example, if you want to show your ad, you want to show your television ad on a particular channel, which particular channel are you going to go for? The channel which has a wide circulation so that your ad can reach as many number of people as possible. Then the second important consideration is audience, and we have to basically look into these aspects. So who all are the audience? What is their size? How many people would actually be getting exposed to your ad when it is placed in a particular media vehicle? So that will be dependent on the audience size of that particular media vehicle. Let me take an example of Doordarshan. Now you understand that within broadcast media type, television more specifically, media vehicle is Doordarshan channel, right? So whether I should choose between Doordarshan or whether I should go for my ad on Astha TV, the first consideration would be the audience size. So naturally Doordarshan has a larger audience than Astha channel. Got it? So the first consideration is size. But then how is size different from circulation? Circulation is how many houses have subscribed to Doordarshan, or how many houses, how many families watch Doordarshan. But then what is the difference between size and circulation? Size can be more than circulation. For example, if the television is kept in a hospital or if it is kept in a railway station. So though there is just one TV and just one subscription is required, if you are running a TV in the hostel, so you want only one Doordarshan subscription, but the number of people who are watching the Doordarshan channel would be much more. So here the size would be more than the circulation. Again, if you take example of a newspaper, so newspaper, media type, within the newspaper, if you are deciding between Amar Ujala and the Business Standards and the Rashtriya Sahara, you have to take into account what is actual audience size, and the size may be different from circulation in case of a library, because in case of a library the circulation would be one. There is just one subscriber library, so only one newspaper copy is getting sold in the library, but the size is much more because there are so many people visiting that particular library and they are reading the newspaper. So not only the circulation is important, in this case circulation was one because the newspaper was placed in the library. The size, actual audience size, actually the number of people who are getting exposed to the media vehicle, that is also important. In case of a library, you saw that so many people are getting exposed to the media vehicle. The same would be the case if you are putting up a television set in a hostel or a hospital or a station where so many people would be actually watching it. So that is the difference between the circulation and the audience size, right? So the circulation can never be more than the audience size. Circulation at best can be equal to audience size. In case of a person, let's say, who is living all alone and he's got a TV, so circulation is 1 because Doordarshan is being watched by him just once, and the size also is 1. On the other hand, if a person is staying together with his family, circulation is 1 because only one channel, because only one subscription has been taken for the Doordarshan channel, but number of family members are 5, so basically audience size comes out to be 5, right? So that is the difference between the circulation and size, and please do remember this, please do keep this in mind. For a newspaper which has been kept in the college library, the circulation would be just 1. However, the actual audience size will be more because there would be people who would be visiting the library and would be reading the newspaper. So you have to take into account the audience size also. Then the audience composition is also very, very important. And what do we mean by composition? Which age group, which gender they mostly comprise of? Are they males? Are they predominantly females? Are they from the young age group? Are they from the middle age group? Or are they among the aged section of the society? And then what is the level of income? So that is again very important. So for example, if I want to sell some religious textbook, some religious book, let's say that I want to sell Quran Sharif, or let's say I want to sell Bhagavad Gita. So naturally, I would not only look at the sheer size of the audience of a particular media vehicle. Doordarshan will have a larger audience size than Astha channel, but I would also look at the composition because I know that my product, be it the Quran Sharif or be it the Bhagavad Gita, it would predominantly be purchased by people who are above 60 or 65 years of age. So I would look at the composition also, and when I look at the composition, I find that Doordarshan is generally watched by people in the middle age group from, let's say, 20-25 to 45-50, and Astha is predominantly watched by people who are above 60, then I would probably want to go for Astha channel as my media vehicle rather than opting for Doordarshan as my media vehicle. Again, let's say you want to show your ad to females because your product is female oriented, it is basically meant for the use by females, then naturally again you are going to have a look at this particular characteristic of the media vehicle. What is the composition? How many males watch this particular channel, or how many males read this particular news item, read this particular newspaper or magazine, and how many females are there? For example, if I'm coming up with ads for, let's say, sanitary napkins, then probably it would make sense for me to go for a magazine like Greh Shobha, which is predominantly read by the female population, female section of the society, rather than going for and India Today kind of a magazine, which is read by both the genders. So that is what we mean by composition, and that is why composition is very, very important. Now let's have a look at the quality. What do we mean by quality? And please understand that this is a very important aspect. Now quality means whether the audience that is getting exposed to a particular media vehicle, is that particular audience similar to my target audience? So I'll give you an example to make you understand this, right? So let's say Department of Business Administration is making use of internet as the media type to promote the BBA course being offered by us. So we are making use of internet as the media type. But which particular website should I advertise on? Should I go on to advertise on Facebook, or should I go on to advertise on Instagram? Then I will probably want to know my target audience is people in the age group of 18 to 20 who are looking for a good quality education from Pithoragarh itself. They don't want to go outside, and they also want to prepare for competitions and want to prepare for higher studies. So they want good quality education within Pithoragarh. So that is the characteristic of my target audience. Now I will have a look at the quality of the audience of the different media vehicles that I have. So for example, I am having one website which is known as Facebook, then we have got Instagram, and then we have got Twitter, and then there are so many others which we have got. So we are taking example of these three different media vehicles which are possible within the internet media type. Now which one would I go for? I understand that my audience characteristic is 18 to 21 age group. They are relatively informed that they want to pursue higher education from this very place. They don't want to go outside, and they are also preparing for various competitions, and they want to get into a good job. So this is the target audience characteristic. Now I will have a look at the audience which is using Facebook. Do they have similar characteristics? Or do people who are using Twitter, they have similar characteristics? And I would find that people who are using Twitter are very, very different. They don't have the same characteristics which my target audience has. They are people maybe in the about 30 age group, above 40 age group also, and they are more prone to making various comments on the political development, social developments, and they are people who are very well read, or they are people who are seeking name and fame. So that does not match my audience characteristics. So I would do what? I would probably not want to use Twitter as my media vehicle. And then I'll have a look at Instagram. Instagram, again, the users are also from the 18 to 21 age group, and they match the profile of my target audience. So I would probably want to go for Instagram as my media vehicle within the internet media type, because that makes sense. Facebook would again be somewhere in between Instagram and Twitter as far as my choice is concerned. It's not as good as Instagram, but it would be better than Twitter as the media vehicle choice when I'm promoting my BBA course. So you have to look for similarity in the audience of the media vehicle that you are going to go for, which you are opting for, and the target audience that you have. So if there is a similarity, you go for that particular media vehicle. So I found out that Instagram users have the same profile which I want to have, which I am looking for in my target audience, and that is why my target audience is more likely to be visiting Instagram, to be making use of Instagram, and that is why I'll be using Instagram as my media vehicle to place my ads rather than using Twitter. Is that making sense? Now, one more thing which is very, very important is the attention probability. So, for example, I've taken up this example. Computer advertisement. Suppose you are selling computers, you are Acer, or let's say HP or Lenovo, or so on and so forth. It would make sense for you to advertise your product in Computer Today, because people who are getting exposed to Computer Today, Computer Today is a media vehicle. I hope you understand this point. So the people who are getting exposed to Computer Today, naturally they must be inclined towards computer. They might be having interest in computing devices, and it makes sense for you to place your computer advertisements in Computer Today. As I said yesterday also, if you feel that, supposing you are running a coaching institute, it would make sense for you to place your ad, if you have selected print media as your choice, then it would make sense for you to place your ad in magazines like Pratyogita Darpan or Competition Success Review, which are also followed by people who are preparing for various competitive exams and who are looking for coaching institutes. So that will make sense for you to place your ads in these kind of magazines, right? So the vehicle has to be decided taking into account the attention getting probability of that particular vehicle. Is that making sense? Again, for example, if you are selling some stones, some gems like topaz, like hira, like neelam, and it would make sense for you to use Astha channel as your media vehicle. Is this okay? So this is something that you have to take into account. Now, again, one more issue that you have to take into account is, within the audience we have discussed these 4 aspects. Now, the first aspect was circulation, the second one was audience, and the third aspect now is advertisement placement policies. What do we mean by this? Supposing you want to place your ad in Dainik Jagran, and suppose Dainik Jagran has clearly mentioned that if a marketer wants to place his ads in Dainik Jagran, he has to contact the newspaper at least 1 week in advance, right? And you want to place your ads today so that the ads come out tomorrow and people get to know about the discount that you are offering to your customers tomorrow. So naturally, that now that you have taken this decision today and within 24 hours you want the ad to be published and the target audience to get exposed to your ads, you would not be able to do that with Dainik Jagran, because they have said that they want the marketers to give them at least 7 days notice if the marketers want to publish their ad in their newspaper. So it's not going to be possible for you to go for this particular media vehicle. So this is what we know, what we understand by advertisement placement policies, right? So do they provide some extra services? In many media vehicles, they provide extra services. For example, if you are a marketer and you want your ad to be shown on, let's say, a particular channel, and I'm giving a hypothetical example. So suppose you want your ad to be shown in Colors TV, right? Now the Colors TV says what? It says that if you are a marketer and you want your ad to be shown on Colors TV, we will provide some extra services to you also. We will also design the ad for you, and we'll also do a research how effective your ad was. So they are providing extra services to you. So naturally, herein you would want to go for Colors as your media vehicle, because they would not only release your ad, they would not only show your ad on their channel, but they would also help you design the ad and also help you understand whether the ad has been effective or not. So these are all advertisement placement policies, examples of these policies, and that can also play a very important role when you are opting between different media vehicles within a particular media type. Like I said, complementary services, lead time requirements, regional additions. Many a time, supposing you are a brand which is selling only in Uttarakhand region, naturally it does not make any sense for you. You want to go for media type, print media type, but then it does not make any sense for you to go for Times of India, because it is selling across the country. It is getting read across the country, but you want only to promote your product within Uttarakhand. So probably it would make sense for you to publish your ad in a local newspaper or in a newspaper which has a regional edition. Like, for example, you might have seen ETV. ETV has got regional editions, ETV UP, ETV Uttarakhand, right? Now, if you want your ad to be shown only in Uttarakhand because you are only focusing on Uttarakhand market to sell your products, then you would want to go for regional edition of ETV. On the other hand, you cannot show the same ad on Colors because Colors has not got regional editions. So the ad that you put on in Colors, it would be shown across the country, but that is something that you don't want because your clientele, your prospective customers are only there in Uttarakhand region. So you would not go for Colors, you would go instead for ETV because ETV has got a regional edition, ETV Uttarakhand, right? Again, last issue is the cost. So when you are deciding which particular media to go for, cost is going to be an important consideration. Please understand this. And naturally, you may have to do a trade-off. You may have to go for a trade-off between circulation and cost. Why? Because if particular media vehicle is getting circulated widely, so many people, let's say it's Times of India and so many people are reading Times of India, wide circulation it has, naturally it would charge you more if you want your ad to be placed in Times of India. So wherever the circulation is wider, the cost will increase. On the other hand, if the circulation is limited to a particular place or to a particular state, or maybe limited to few people, then naturally the cost of that particular media vehicle would be low. You might have seen some of the local brands advertising their product on Santushti TV, which is a local channel basically, and the cost of advertising is way less than the cost of advertising in channels like Star TV. Why? Because while Star TV has a wide circulation, Santushti TV has a very, very small circulation. It is only seen by and watched by and followed by people in the Uttarakhand region, in fact people in Pithoragarh only. So the cost naturally is going to be much less for you. So that also is something that you have to take into account. Depending on whatever budget you have to control the costs also. So somewhere you'll have to do a compromise on circulation. If you want to reduce your cost, you have to do a compromise on these aspects if you want to reduce your cost. On the other hand, if you are looking for very wide circulation and you are looking for significant audience size, you might see a situation where your cost escalates. So there's a trade-off between cost and the circulation. Okay, with this we conclude our discussion on media vehicle. We have completed our discussion on media types also. In the next session that we'll have, we'll be talking about the media timing. So that is going to be the agenda of the next session. Very soon you will be having a test. As far as the assignment number 1 is concerned, the marks have been awarded to you. Plus, I have also provided you the model answers. More or less, this is what is expected of you. This is what is expected from you. These were the kind of answers that were expected from you. So the model answers have also been shared with you on Google Classroom only. And very soon we'll be having a test also. And when I wrap up this Unit 3, I'll also release the list of the projects that you have to undertake. Fine. So thank you very much for your time.